Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Sunday service. I'm joined tonight by Jennifer. Hello, Jennifer. How are you?
Hello, I'm well, thank you. How about you?
Jolly good. And well, we're going to be looking at some of the things that Jen has been working on recently, and doing a couple of other bits and pieces as well. Now, I do apologise, folks. My throat tonight is very scratchy. I've just got over a throat bug, not COVID, thankfully. Then I was cleared to go down and have my flu and COVID jabs, and then subsequently my throat has gone again. So I am a bit tonight, so I do apologise for that. So if I keep drinking away here, it's purely to assuage my my poor beleaguered throat. Yeah, rub it in, Jen. Why don't you? So, how are you?
I'm bearing up, John. I'm bearing up.
Right. When you say bearing up, in what sense?
Oh, just getting on with it. Busy as ever.
So, what's been crossing your workbench recently then?
Well, I guess most of you must have seen my hurricane by now. It's been shared around the place quite a lot. So, oh, look at that, as if by magic, there she is. My little Armour Hobby Hurricane. So if you leave that shot on there for a moment, John, I'm just going to share an amusing fact with everyone. If you can't already see, that I actually put the roundels on wrong. I did not notice this until my helpful YouTube audience pointed it out to me, that the left roundel is far more inboard than the right. Because when I used my dividers to measure where I'd put the masks, I didn't mirror it. So they're the same distance in the same place, but literally the same distance in the same place. So it works out that the right hand one is much further out than the left. And I don't know which one's right, actually, if either of them are. But I thought it was quite funny when I realised what I'd done. And I'm inclined just to leave it there because it makes me laugh. But we'll see. There it is.
I see what you mean, because the port side roundel is almost in line with the aerial, isn't it?
No, the wing ones, not the
oh, the wing one, right? Sorry, Jen.
Go back to the other one. Do you see the right hand one's much further outboard than the left?
I'm with you. Yeah, sorry.
I did not realise at any point, and then when the guy pointed it out, I immediately opened the photographs and thinking, what? And I looked at it and thought, well, bugger me, I have. Oh, I did a swear. Sorry. Well,
no, that's all right. You can get away with that.
I've done. I have literally measured it to the same panel line, but in the same direction, so that one sits further in than the other.
I see. Yeah, I can see what you've done there, because you've got you've got that panel line just slightly out inboard of the red center.
Yeah.
But then you've kind of mirrored it on the other side. So yeah, I see what you've done there.
It's crazy that it's not that noticeable until someone sees it and tells you, and then you're like, oh God, yeah. How did I not see that?
I'll be honest with you, I didn't spot it. So
no, neither did I. But
no.
I mean, I've got no excuses apart from advancing years. But I could fix it, obviously, but I'm actually not that bothered. It's finished now. So
no.
Whatever.
So what paints did you use on this? Because I noticed you've gone for that kind of slightly kind of brushed look on it, haven't you?
It's all Tamiya acrylic. I sprayed it initially, and I used panzer putty to get the sort of hardish edge. And then I was terrifically brave and used a paintbrush with Tamiya acrylic to make the paintbrushy lines in it, which it's flirting with disaster, isn't it, doing that, because it'll pick itself up, and it did in a few places, but it actually kind of works, because especially on the fin there, on the pictures of the real one, the finish is absolutely abysmal. And the fact that it sort of looks really bad on the, on the model, it's fine because it's supposed to. It doesn't look as bad as the real thing, to be honest, but I think there's an element of doing things in scale. Sometimes if you recreate it precisely, it kind of looks wrong.
Yep.
So I got to a point where I thought it looked different enough and rubbish enough to be okay, and then left it at that. Really, could have gone further, but I like it.
What paints did you use on this then?
What numbers?
Yeah, you say it was Tamiya acrylics.
So the grey is XF66, which is imaginatively called light grey. And the green is just RAF dark green OBS. The black is XF85. Is that rubber black, I think? That's it. I used a little bit of white in some of the grey areas. I lightened them up a touch with some white and sprayed a bit more in, because there were a few areas on the pictures that did appear to be a lot lighter. And the rest of it I just did with, I got Tamiya acrylics of the main colours and thinned them with water. I just used a paintbrush and painted things until it looked rubbish, honestly, and left it at that.
No, it's it's honestly, I'm still waiting for my Armour Hurricane, because Drew's got a couple.
Yes.
But I haven't seen him yet. So I'm looking forward to getting mine. I get the feeling mine is probably going to be the SEAC one, which would be fine for me.
It's a stunning kit. It's so, well, you can see in that picture the surface detail really brings something new to the finish. It looks kind of complicated, and I mean, actually, I don't think you would see the rivets that strongly on the real thing, to be fair, even though they're raised rivets. But at the same time, you get a sense of texture, don't you, with the real thing? And this is really the first kit I've built pretty much ever that captures that to that degree.
Well, we're down to that thing that our impressions of, it's a famous quote by Chris Ellis, actually, in How to Go Plastic Modelling, that book again, where he says that a lot of the time our impressions of the real thing don't necessarily scale down. So if we perceive something in 1-to-1 scale as having lots of rivets and it's not there in a kit, sometimes we can kind of like think, oh, you know, something's missing, even though strictly speaking they wouldn't reproduce at that scale. You know, I mean, and bear in mind, when he wrote that book, this was the late 1960s, so it was an era when kit companies were slapping rivets on everything. So,
well, yeah, they used to do raised rivets back in the day, didn't they? Ironically enough, but it just, yeah, it captures a certain something. I think it's an element of a complication about the finish that lends it an authentic air, shall I say? I believe, and it does really look the part. It's a beautiful model, and I'm actually really hoping that I get the chance to put another one together before too long. But you know how it is.
If I am, I'm probably getting this horribly wrong, but wasn't that squadron based at RAF Charmy Down?
They were all over the place. As part of the research, I found that they were at Byberry for a while, which is literally just down the road from here. I'm not sure at the time of the scheme shown where exactly they were. I can't remember. I've already forgotten pretty much everything I researched during that project. So I've moved on to the next one.
Well, we will get to your next project in a second, because that does neatly dovetail into one of the other things we were going to talk about tonight, and that is the fix for the Airfix Vulcan. Now, you're building an Airfix Vulcan, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is the fix to get rid of that extraneous pylon. Now, what happened was, that's the photograph of the aircraft, and the main undercarriage door lined up perfectly with the existing pylon and the AN ALQ 101 pod. So the designer just mistakenly thought it was some kind of huge pylon. So don't take it up with me. Take it up, honestly, I'm just reporting what happened. So there is the fix. The fix takes less time than it takes to run around complaining about it. So what we're going to do live on the internet tonight is just going to switch over to my camera, and there is the item there, the black. Yeah, there it is. So actually, I'm just gonna
Shall we have a race?
Sorry.
Shall we have a race?
Yeah, let's have a race. Well, no, because I'll probably mess it up. I'm using. I'm just going to hold it up to the camera there. I'm using this lovely Japanese razor saw that Tim Maunder bought me a few years ago. So this is one of the first occasions where I would have used it in relative anger, so to speak. Oh, let's get it on camera. So there we go. That's that separated from the pylon. And then we'll get rid of the... I've got to try and make sure I get this right, because knowing me, I will get it wrong.
Don't cock it up. Everyone's watching.
I know. Right. Okay. Yeah, I see what I need to do. Let's get this right. We got one. We get one shot of this. Oh, for goodness sake! Let's hold it.
Does anyone else think he would find it easier if he took the part off the sprue first, or is that?
Yeah, that's a good idea, Jen.
I mean,
I'm so glad you're here tonight.
Just saying.
Yeah, I'm so glad.
I know you've had brain surgery and all, but come on, man.
Hey, come on. Right, let's try that again, shall we? So glad we've actually got an adult on this show to actually kind of direct me, a responsible adult, because you, I do believe, I'm going to embarrass you now, Jen. You, I do believe, are now a sergeant.
Oh yes, a senior NCO in His Majesty's Royal Air Force. Yes.
Oh,
I don't know what went wrong. Someone tripped over or something.
There we go. So I need to get rid of... I'm just having a quick look at the illustration here. I need to get this right, because if I don't, I'll never live it down. Let's have a look at the illustration. And I need to cut it in a straight line from the cut there, don't I? So let's have a look. Yep, I see what I need to do. So it is... Let's get it in camera. So it is... Oops. Bang's head on camera. Right, it's in line with the bottom of the pylon. So that's exciting, isn't it? Actual modelling on a modelling show. Oops. can hear snipping going on.
I'm just doing mine too. Uh-oh. Dave Swindell's presented a long list of other errors inherent.
Well, Dave, take it up with Hornby, because there's nothing we can do about it. So he said passing the buck, or should I say passing the black buck?
See what you did there.
I see what you did there. Right. Okay. I'm now gonna live dangerously and snip that bit off there like so, and then with a little bit of luck, I can just go in there.
I just cut mine through.
There we go.
It was easier.
Done it.
Ta-da!
Yeah, there we go. I think that was almost simultaneous, wasn't it?
Almost.
So there you go.
Undersized fins on the Shrike, smaller starboard pylon for the strikes, non-handed Shrike double mount, slightly undersized and detail lacking pods, or the pylon's not fitting up against the wing undersides. None of these are big fixes, but disappointing nonetheless. Yeah, a little.
Right, well, there we go. We've corrected our black buck pylons. I'm just going to trim that there, and then have you got one of these, Jen?
What, a sanding stick?
Yeah, the infamy
Infamy. No, I don't have any of those. No.
They're brilliant.
I'm missing a trick.
They are absolutely top dollar. I absolutely adore them. So there we go. Let's just flatten that off at the bottom. And I'm not going to do any more remedial work on it, but that's it. There we go. We've taken that off. And then let's go and get the ANLQ 101.
Is this even supposed to fit flush to the underside of the wing? I don't see how that could.
What's that?
The pylon, it can't fit flush to the underside of the wing because it's not even curved.
Oh, let's get it on camera. Hello, somebody's got a blunt knife here.
There it is. In situ. The other two, so there's supposed to be three, is there? I don't know anything about this.
Right,
okay.
okay.
Those ones, yeah, of course.
That's it. That's the fix, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, you're going to glue it on there, but there we go. So that is now unwanted. So it's fairly straightforward, isn't it, Jen?
Yeah.
Yep. Thank you for that, Tim. By the way, that's very kind of you. So, I was going to say, what scheme are you doing yours in? I take it you're doing a black buck one.
Yeah, I've actually got two to do. This is the one I've been working on first. It's got a big head set in it. It's been a little bit of brass work going on here. I'm thinking it's actually going to be both of the kit schemes. One's going to be 607, and the other will be the other one. Oh, you've got my picture. Okay.
Yeah, you've gone brass crazy there, haven't you?
Well, it's not me. It's the customer. So that is an Edward Big Ed set. That what you can see there is the bomb bay and undercarriage bays, basically. So all the moulded in detail was removed. I was knee deep in plastic shavings, and replaced with large pieces of flat brass just stuck on, but then also a plethora of boxes and things, as you can possibly make out there, which has taken about 3 days, I think, pretty much solid. Yeah. I do also have the nose section. Well, you can see it in the picture. That's also got a buttload of brass in it, which is entirely invisible even at this point without the canopy on or the bottom piece on. So if anybody's thinking about brassing up or detailing the interior of their Vulcan, I'll just save you the bother. It really, really isn't worth it. It's black in there and the windows are absolutely tiny.
And they're also at an angle where you can't really see into the cockpit anyway.
You know, the glare shield covers up most of the area you can sort of see through into. So really and truly, I would just paint everything black and stick it in there and leave it at that. But this has got a full load of etch in it, because that's what people want. Hopefully the other one is just going to be standard because it'll be an awful lot quicker.
I think part of the problem these days, Jen, is that because we do our modelling in the public glare, don't we? We like to share what we're doing. So much of what we do ends up, you know, if you're working on an aircraft model and the interior, the interior isn't really going to be seen, or even a tank model to that extent, you still go ahead and carry on with it because you want to be able to, excuse me, it's that element of showing off a bit, isn't it?
I thought with this, maybe, the canopy on these was jettisonable, so it didn't really look like it fitted that well anyway. So I thought, just leave it so you can take it off, but you still can't see anything in there.
No.
You'll be able to see the seats and the belts, even if you take the canopy off. So it's just save yourself the bother, and just enjoy the rest of it. That's a whole lot of effort and work that's for nothing, honestly.
So you're doing it as a Black Buck aircraft, aren't you?
Yes. Well, this is the original release kit pieces because I already had that one here. The guy that wants this building wanted 558 originally, and then he changed his mind to 607. So when Airfix made the announcement that they were going to release it, and I saw it on Jadlam, I contacted him and said, look, let's just get one of these in instead of messing around trying to modify the other kit, because all the bits are in there, decals, everything. So that's what we've done, but this was already here, so I got started on it because it's obviously the same. The rest of it's the same. So. And I noticed the new one is completely different plastic. It's that harder, darker stuff that they used to use on the test shots a lot. Whether that's good or bad for anybody, I don't know, but it's definitely the case.
I'm just going to do, as we usually do, I'm just going to give a shout out to everybody who's tuned in tonight. So this is just what somebody who's got throat problems wants to do tonight, but hey ho. Hello to Damien Mullen, Phil Artiste Studio, Russell Taylor, Kev Tinker, Steve Moores, Dave Swindle, Anfield Road Layout in the Loft. I like that. Good to have a Liverpool fan on the show. Lee Suter, Stephen Pryor, 3 points today. Nick Brown, Derek Clark, Dougal McWoogle, Ian Goldstraw, Paul Milligan, Captain Genta, Sean Smith, Shane Weir, good day Shane, Mike R. Williams, Scale Modelling, hello Mike, Peter Oxley, Rory Manton, Stan Codling, Simon Lewis, Theron Hampton, Ian Rusco, Crazy Loca, Phil, scrolls down. We're going to get t-shirts made that say scrolls down. Christopher Joseph Buchholz, Tony Bork, Paul Dunham, Douglas Hunter, Lox9, those two words, blah blah. Marcus Stone, Jerry Doyle, moves the cursor in a downward, scrolls down. Steve Moores, Gav, it's pretty much, it's hobby time. Hello, hobby time. It's pretty much a full house tonight. John Huston as well. Excuse me. Sorry, my throat is just about to give up. unfortunately, unlike ghost stories, I can't sit here and medicate it with a beer and a bum because I tried to be a little bit more professional. Right. So yeah, so you're going to do a black buck one. Which one are you doing? Black buck. Which black buck are you doing?
Well, as I say, both of them actually. This will be 607, whatever mission that is. I don't know. Let me find the instructions. Ugh. Which don't have that information. I need the colour chart, don't I? Did you not do the decals for this?
I did do the decals for that.
You did? Oh, good.
Yeah.
There are a lot of stencils, I know.
Yeah, of course there are. There's a rather lot of stencils on the real aeroplane, Jen. So,
hold on.
Right. Well, I'm just going to have another quick sip of tea here, folks. Sorry about this. My throat is just
There they are. It's quite a nifty little sheet, actually. .607 Black Buck 1 44 Squadron. Obviously flying out of Ascension. I've been to Ascension. It's really hot. And the other one is 597, which is Black Buck 6, and I assume that one should have the shrikes on it. Yeah, they're on the picture. Decal design thinks of everything. Look.
Yeah, of course they are. Wouldn't miss off something like that.
Have to paint the bombs on this one. It's so good.
Peter Oxley makes the comment that XM597 is the one that diverted to Rio.
Oh, I bet the crew were really upset about that.
Yep.
No, they did have an emergency. I shouldn't make light of it. Yeah. But what a place to have to divert to.
Yeah.
And be stuck there for like a week or something, weren't they?
Weren't they effectively interred?
I believe so, to a degree, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'd have found a way out of it.
Interred at the Copacabana beach or something like that.
I know.
Yeah, exactly.
Improvise, adapt, and overcome, darling. It's what we do.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, yeah. Jen. I'm just going to switch to my camera at the moment, and bear with me a second. Bear with. Hang about. Right. We are finally making some progress on the Airfix K2 ambulance, which I've just noticed I've got a dirty great big thumb mark on the side there, so let's get rid of that. So what I've been doing with this is I tried a slightly different method of painting it, which sort of got out of hand, but never mind. So what I painted it with was AK's Real Color SCC 15 Olive Drab, which sprays absolutely beautifully. It's fabulous paint. The next time I'm in Frome, I shall invest in some more of their paints because I absolutely love it. And the other thing that I did as an experiment was just do some kind of like dusting around the edges with, would you believe, Tamiya XF57 Buff, which is a good, useful kind of dusty color. And that's essentially all I did. It was just trying out ideas. If they work, they work. If they don't, they don't. And we've got another mark on the roof there. And what I will do at some stage is go in onto the dusted areas with a slightly darker brown wash just to add a bit of depth to it. The other thing that I did, and again, I'm very grateful to Mr. Spencer Pollard, was that I broke out my texture templates. Have you got one of these, Jen?
I do.
They're brilliant, aren't they?
They're quite handy. I've cut mine up like that as well.
All right, sorry. We'll just go back to. We can't see you, Jen. Sorry. Oh yes, we can.
It's
yeah,
all
sorry.
right. I don't mind.
I thought we were on solo layout there. Yeah, so I use that just to add a bit of texture with some of the pure olive drab, which was just enough to kind of like contrast with everything that's gone lighter. Oh, I should be glad to put a gloss coat on this because yeah, I've got some more somewhere here as well that I was given.
This is a Lucy van der Rosten one in brass. It's kind of cool.
But yeah, it's just me throwing around ideas at this just to see what happens. I mean, likewise, I painted the undersides in a very pale kind of like tan color, and that will be kind of like augmented with washes and weathering and whatnot. But I will get a wiggle on this because there are a couple of other modeling projects that I really want to kind of get I want to get started on, and I don't want to kind of make this into a year-long project. So that's where we are with the Airfix Katie ambulance. So hopefully, fingers crossed, hopefully we might be able to make a bit more progress on that at some stage. So he says, fingers crossed. Yeah, so but I've enjoyed it. I mean, the thing is I started this before I went on holiday back in May.
Yeah,
I went on holiday back in May, and yeah, it's been kind of like hanging around here. And the other thing that we did today was I did the sludge wash for the wheels. Now, I am working on a video for this to explain how I do this. Essentially is I mix up some pigment with some water, blob it all on, and then brush most of it off, and then kind of like seal it with white spirit, just soak white spirit onto it, and then go in there and just add other weathering effects and whatnot. So we're halfway through the process here at the moment, but as you see, you get this nice effect of kind of like of dust getting caught up in the treads, which you can augment by dry brushing the tires with pure black. So it's probably a bit too exaggerated for some, but you know what? I like it, and it's my model. So there we go. There we go. That's all I'm going to say on that. Sorry, Jen, I'm going to have to cut this short tonight because my throat is absolutely doing my head in at the moment. I do apologise. Is there anything else you want to talk about tonight?
Well, I could talk about my Spitfire if you want.
Yeah, you talk about your Spitfire. I'm going to go and get myself a nice cold drink.
I had the very, very great pleasure last week of visiting Spitfires.com down at Goodwood.
Mm-hmm.
To see this young lady.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's one of those internet things where it's all going in and out, isn't it? Yeah, to see Gertie, the Silver Spitfire, which some of you may be aware is a project I'm just starting with the Airfix 24th kit, and here is what I've been doing so far with that. I've added all the structure in here into the inside, because it does make a huge difference actually to the strength of the thing. And then I've plated up some of the panels because the Silver Spitfire has no armament, and all the panels have been smoothened. So there's the Canon panel with its blister removed, and I got that far. I was in negotiations to go and see the aircraft actually, and then I got permission to actually go down and see it first hand properly close up. So I stopped work because I knew I would be able to get the photographic evidence I needed to make a good job of it. So this is all I've done so far. You see the underside, I fitted the panels, and then I primed it with Mr. Surfacer, and it's actually got a light guide coat of black on it for sanding down, because like a lot of Airfix kits, the surface of the plastic is a tad pebbly and rough, and it needs to be very smooth for this one, obviously. So that's what I've done so far, but I went and spent a couple of hours with Gertie, and I have quite a lot of photos. Some just details. And unfortunately, the lights are just playing hell with this, aren't they? But just
You are going to
detail,
upload them
detail.
somewhere, aren't you?
I may do a folder on the Facebook page or something like that. The people down there are perfectly happy with me sharing the images. There's nothing that they're worried about with it going on to social media or what have you. So, I mean, some really nerdy pictures like this close up of an exhaust stub, which is just, I mean, it's
lovely.
It's manner to a modeler, isn't it? But and the red crowbar, note red.
Right, we had red crowbar, yeah.
Yeah, I think they do that on purpose. Non-standard instrument panel stuff and a different seat harness, all kinds of stuff. And chatting with one of the mechanics that looks after it, and it was just a very, very, very useful experience and an absolute honour, obviously, to climb up on the thing. An actual, honest to God, wartime Spitfire that shot down a Focke-Wulf, and is incredibly original when you get down to it. It's allegedly about 85% of it is original, which is massive for an airworthy Spitfire. That's a lot. But it actually still has Vickers Supermarine part numbers stamped in the skins and things like that. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing, and I'm really, really excited about that project as a whole. And on top of that,
got a question for you from Simon Lewis, and says, "Hi Jen, have you used parafilm for masking canopies and clear parts?"
I have not. Usefully, I've never used it for anything. I don't think. No. I don't think I've ever had any. I generally use bare metal foil to mask canopies, mostly. Sometimes Tamiya tape, depends on the part. If it's a simple one, you know, like a jet fighter or something, I'll just cut strips of Tamiya tape and use that. But other stuff, I tend to use bare metal foil because this stuff.
Yep, I've got some here.
Because it doesn't come off, and paint doesn't get under it, and it does conform really well to shapes as well.
Yep.
And the beauty of it is when you lay it over your canopy part and sort of burnish it down, you cannot fail to see the framing.
Yep.
Because of it, the very nature of it, the framing is super, super obvious. So it's really quite easy to cut the mouse out, I find.
Yep.
But that's, I think a lot of modelers are quite nervy about using scalpels on canopies, which I totally get.
Modelers nerdy? Where do you get that idea from, Jen?
Nervy. Well, people are frightened of things. People don't like cutting on their canopies, and I can understand that. So I think there's not that many that use bare metal foil for that, maybe. You can get paraffin through stores. Is that what you're telling me, Steve?
Yeah, apparently Parafilm N has an NSN number, if that helps. So, of course, because it's used, its actual material use is, I think it's in laboratories, and it's for sealing jars and things.
Okay.
Am I right?
I don't know. Forward it on, Steve, because I'm taking on an inventory, so I'll be able to order some.
Here we go. Oops, Daisy. Anthony Bird says parafilm was introduced for the science community. Test tube sealing in particular. You have to stretch it before applying.
Oh, okay. Like super cling film. Right.
Yeah. The thing is, I remember it being featured in Fine Scale Modeler in the late 1980s. Then everybody went parafilm mad. You couldn't read a modeling article without somebody ramming parafilm down your throat. Not literally, but there you go.
And never used it.
I never got on the bandwagon. So and Mike Williams says, I've tried bare metal foil for canopy masking, but it left sticky residue and was a bind to clean up. Just going to say, Mike, is the solution to that is some fine cotton buds and some WD-40.
If you look at the hurricane video, I show it in action for that very reason. WD-40 takes that residue off instantly without any bother. Won't hurt your paint, won't do any damage to anything. So yeah, you're right though. It does leave it goopy and disgusting.
Yeah, Anthony Bird says testers did paraffin on a small roll, never got on with it, to be honest.
No,
Do you know what? I'm going to have to get some to try it out.
I wonder if it's like that stuff we used to put on our exercise books at school back in the day.
Oh God, yeah.
Is it like that?
Yeah, no, it's no, because that's quite kind of quite hard and fragile. This stuff is it's more like a it's just like a flexible film or something. It's like super cling film or something.
Okay. Sounds interesting.
And Anthony Bird says parafilm is not sticky either. No, because I believe it works through static energy. And Peter Oxley reminds us that the stuff we used to put on our exercise books was Fablon.
Oh, I'm not the oldest person in the room.
Yeah, no, Fablon. Goodness me. Yeah. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to wrap this at the moment because, as I say, I do apologise. My throat is absolutely raw at the moment, and we could sit here and talk about school exercise books and God knows what else. But a lot of people are watching this and thinking, "What on earth are you talking about?" So
they know by now.
Yeah. Let me just hang about. Let me just go and get the Jen. Any other business?
No, I won't have any other business. I'll defer to your poorly throat. You need to go and get yourself a whiskey. And
yeah, I need to go and
do the same.
I need to go and get myself a small whiskey.
Yeah.
Actually, I was going to say that I do have some absolutely splendid single grain malts that Mr. Farmer of the Hobby Company bought me. So I'm very grateful to him for them. They're absolutely delicious. Yeah, Jonathan McCowan's got the idea. Medicinal whiskey, Jono. Yeah, absolutely.
I've got to say, for me. I don't do whiskey, but yeah, I might join you there.
Yeah, I've got to say a big thank you to Jono and Shane, because they clubbed together and sent me a lovely food hamper, which it was absolutely brilliant. So, gentlemen, because that's what you are, I'm very grateful for the hamper, and I will reciprocate in some way or another. So,
sweet.
What with that Yuletide season coming up in the next couple of weeks, it feels like.
What you're saying is you guys are on the Christmas card list.
Yeah, they are on the Christmas card list. No, I will get you some bits and pieces. Sorry about this, folks. I'm going to have to go and get something to drink. So, on that note, it just remains for me to say thank you to Jen for joining us this evening.
You're more than welcome.
You lot out there, stay safe, stay out of trouble, and fingers crossed, we'll see you next Sunday for the next Sunday service. So until then, bye for now.